Welcome back to SwitchCorner. My name is Alex and today saw the release of Pac-Man 99 on the Switch. A welcome surprise after the death of Mario. Is this one worth your time? And does it capture the addictive side of its Pac-Man source? Well, hit subscribe if you love the Switch. As much as we all do here, join our growing family and let's get started. So Pac-Man 99, it follows the exact same concept of Tetris 99 and Mario 35 before it, meaning it's a unique spin on the Battle Royale formula, where you and 98 other players in this case battle it out thanks to a unique spin on the Pac-Man formula, and the goal will be the last Pac standing. And I'm going to put it out there now, look, I am impressed. The gameplay, it captures that classic Pac-Man formula while adding enough twist that it stands out as very much its own thing. So the controls are simple. D-pad is preset to movement and the left stick absolutely nothing. That's kind of weird in my opinion. While I would suggest, D-pad myself, you can turn on the left stick in the options if that is more your speed. The controls though, as fast and responsive as you would expect from the formula, and the map here you'll be navigating, it's the single screen classic layout from the original 1980s arcade release with no changes at all. One thing I expected though was the map to potentially, evolve as you progressed, or maybe just have a few different options, but from what I've seen it's just this single layout, and that does make sense given you couldn't really change the layout on the fly without interrupting the flow of the action. Maybe in the future though it would be a nice touch to add, maybe a few different layouts that are kind of random before each round begins. When it comes to the battling though, it's not just about surviving as long as possible, of course that is the main goal, but rather if you gobble up ghosts, you can send them your opponent's way. This is for the most part the standard formula of grab one of the 4 Power Pellets that are found in each corner of the screen and turn your enemies into blue edible versions. That all said though, once these pellets are gone, you'll need to regenerate them. To do this, you need to eat the slowly respawning fruit that's found underneath the ghost spawn box that is in the center of the screen. This is going to be the key to your wins. When you eat up one of these ghosts though, they get sent to one of your opponents as Jammer Pac-Man. This is the white outline Pac-Man you see on screen right now. These are a new enemy type, and while they won't actually kill you, they do slow you down to a snail's pace. Never a good thing with a ghost on your tail. Slow you down though, you'll need to wait a few seconds and they will disappear eventually, but my preferred option is actually grab a Power Pellet, because not only will it have its usual, edible ghost effect, but it actually clears these from your screen as well. Want to really overwhelm your opponents though, it's pretty obvious what you need to do. You want to send as many ghosts as possible at one time just to really test out their skill set. To do this, you're going to want to use what are called sleeper ghosts. Again, it's an outline, but this time it's of the ghost. These are on the left and right side of the map. It's simple, eat them up and they will create a train of ghosts behind one of the main cast on screen. Then go and eat that Power Pellet and basically go for a buffet. These again regenerate with a fruit piece, so that is the strategy really here. The key element is that fruit itself. It's not only creating attacks, but understanding that opportune moment to eat that fruit and then regenerate things like the Power Pellet, the ghosts, all that good stuff. The final piece to gameplay, it's actually attached to the right stick and the face buttons. Now on the left side of the screen, this is the face buttons. We have strategy, meaning you can be stronger to avoid so much slowdown. You've got speed to move at a faster pace. Standard, that just keeps things simple and you get that kind of classic feel. And then train was my favorite. It extends the length of the sleeping ghosts when they attach to a foe, meaning you've got much more powerful attacks. To really win though, you want to use a combination of all these different kind of strengths. Then on the right side of the screen, choose your opponent, and it actually pre-selects who to attack, whether that's knockout, which means someone that's about to die, hunter, I presume those with, high knockout numbers, so you want to be wary, counter, that gets those that are attacking you, and then random, I mean, the name says it all there. This game, like those before it, Tetris 99 and Mario 35, it is very difficult to really tell what your opponents are doing, so this kind of automatic selection is by far the best way they could have gone. The game though, it feels like Pac-Man, and the formula absolutely works. Pac-Man has always been manic and at times, anxiety inducing, and that's very much the case here, as I often just held my breath and hoped for the best. I think any Pac-Man fan or even arcade fan that wants something that's kind of like, pick up and play, you should absolutely take a look. As with all these 99 games then though, there is no real tutorial or even explanation, which kind of sucks honestly. It would for sure help, but otherwise, as free content goes, I only have a few minor complaints. Complaints wise, outside of the, single map layout we've got presented to us, when you lose, I think it would have been nice to have been able to watch the rest of the battle, jump around and see what others are doing. Just one, so you could kind of work out your own strategy, but two, to see if your friends are in the room. That's something I frequently did with Mario 35. Likewise here, like no lobby system, so you can't jump in with a friend. It's a case of basically counting down at the same time, pressing start at the same time, and then hoping for the best. Those are definitely minor complaints, but a bigger one for me is, reasons to play, reasons to come back. There's very few unlockables here that are not paid. I thought the emblems next to your name, they would be made for progression, but instead it's get this high score on this theme, which conveniently happens to be paid content, or get this high score on time attack mode, which also happens to be a paid mode. I checked every single grayed out emblem, all of them require my credit card in some form. Now I do get it, but just a few would have been nice for us to unlock just for kind of taking part, but also kind of get us in the repetition of, coming back every single night. Really, the only progression here is your stats found on the main menu and then your ranking. That paid content, then you can pay $15 for additional modes. These are private matches, a CPU version of 99, score attack and blind time attack, and on top of this then you can also pay for 20 custom themes of other classic games at $2 a pop. Now if for some reason you want all of the modes and all of the themes, go for the $30 Ultimate Bundle instead. It works out considerably cheaper. Finally, wrapping this up, I'm going to keep it simple for graphics and audio. I mean, it's Pac-Man. It very much looks as you would expect, channeling the original 80s arcade release, but now in, a flawless HD. And the animations, they're simplistic, but as good as ever. I will say, though, the new elements add some real flash to the experience. Find a big train of edible ghosts ahead of you, and it can be an absolute assault on the senses in the best possible way. Likewise, the other maps, very much they are in keeping with their influences. The menu, finally, for graphics as well, really like it. It's presented as a retro arcade cabinet selection, and it's definitely very much suiting of the Pac-Man theme. The audio then, it's the classic sound effects with a modernized spin on the music. It's repetitive as always, but it's also catchy as hell, and the fast pace just keeps the heart rate right up there like the gameplay itself. So the final verdict, and I'm not giving this one a score today, not only is it a free-to-play, but it's also a relatively small in-store size, 796 megabytes, so if you want to give it a shot, it's not going to take up too much space. If you want an interesting spin on the Battle Royale formula though, or you simply love your Pac-Man and arcade-style gameplay, there's absolutely no reason you shouldn't be downloading this immediately. The only disappointment for me, I wanted some unlocks. I wanted a few simple rewards for my effort that I am putting in. Sadly though, what I do find here is it's kind of all locked behind a paywall. Now sure, it might be purely cosmetic, but I still think it's a nice touch to have something that you're gonna grind for. And with how simple these badges are, and even the maps themselves, having maybe just a few free options that can be grinded out will keep people coming back, and that's so important for a game like this. It gets the addiction going, and Pac-Man 99 at release just doesn't quite have that pull yet that I'm willing to pull the credit card out. That said though, it's still addictive, and already day one I'm getting my ass kicked, and that's enough to keep me coming back personally. It's just whether that's going to be enough for you as well. It's not to chase a high score here, rather to chase that #1 spot, but I know that the reward when you do finally get that #1 spot will be absolutely worth it. I will say though, at this point I'm extremely excited now to see what they do with this one in the future, because I also see a huge amount of potential around it. So have you downloaded this one already, and what do you think this far? Is it one that will keep you coming back like Tetris 99 for me? With that then, a shout out to the patrons of the channel who are just going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. It helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. If you do want to check that out for yourself, I have linked it in the video description down below. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.